Okay, just tell me whenever you're ready. I'm ready. Man, I'm gonna smash this world record. Oh no, I don't know the ZBLL. What do I do? This exact scenario is probably my biggest cubing fear. I started to learn this ZBLL subset around 6 months ago, and I have not yet completed it. So far, I know 10 out of 12 ZBLLs in the subset, but I am terrified to get one of these two cases in an official WCA solve. Technically, I could use any of the other ZBLL algorithms that I already know to solve the two cases, because the ZBLLs would serve as COLL algorithms. The only problem with that, however, is that I'm burdened with the amount of choice that I have. Which algorithm do I use? I know that all of them would work, but which one would be the fastest for me? If I got one of these two cases in competition, I would probably be sitting there for a while before deciding on which algorithm I would use. Yeah, not an ideal scenario. Oh yeah, did I mention that I have a competition in about 24 hours? Let's get learning. To begin, I returned to the Max Xiao video that I'm still chipping away at. The first case that I decided to tackle was this ZBLL that kinda looks like an H Perm. The recognition is pretty easy, as H Perms look quite different from any other type of color orientation, but memorizing the execution turned out to be quite tricky. The execution starts off similarly to this ZBLL case, but instead of inserting the pair like this, you do it like this. For whatever reason, it took my muscle memory a long time to adapt to the small change in execution. Nonetheless, after a long couple of minutes of spamming one algorithm, I was able to flawlessly embed it into my muscle memory. Finally, after 6 long and procrastinated months of learning ZBLL, I was finally on the last case of Max Xiao's first ZBLL video. This last case was also pretty easy to recognize. It has all of these colors solved, kind of like a PLL skip. Unlike the last case I learned, memorizing the execution to this PLL skip was incredibly easy. First you do a U move, and then you do an anti-soon with your left hand, and then you do a soon with your right hand. Yeah, I already know both of these algorithms, so this case is incredibly easy. Because this last case saved me a lot of time, I decided to start Max Xiao's second ZBLL video. The second video covers ZBLLs where their left and right corners are opposite colors. Luckily for me, the first two cases in this video are very similar to the COLL algorithm that I use for this type of corner permutation. The first case I learned from Max Xiao's second ZBLL video is a case where there are opposite colors on the right side of the cube. For this case, Max taught me this algorithm. In my opinion, it's a pretty good algorithm because I can get some solid TPS while executing it. The second case that I learned is just the mirror of the first case. Instead of having these opposite colors on the right side of the cube, they're on the left. The second case is executed like the COLL algorithm that I learned a while back. It goes like this. Overall, these two cases were pretty simple. The day winded down and the 24 hours were finally up. Now comes the moment of truth. Competition day. I woke up incredibly early because the competition's 3 hours away from where I live, but it was totally worth it, okay? My only worry about this competition was if I was gonna get a ZBLL that I know. I competed in 3 events that could potentially give me a ZBLL. 3x3, 4x4, and 3x3 one-handed. If I were to get a ZBLL in an official WCA solve, I was praying that it would be on a 3x3 solve. Getting a ZBLL on a 4x4 would not have been too bad, but if I got one on a one-handed solve, I would have been finished. I don't even know how to do this UOLL one-handed. In 3x3 round 1, I didn't even get an OLL with the cross solved on top. On the first solve, I got this awkward case. The second solve gave me this small L-shape OLL. The third solve gave me another small L-shape but the other variation. On the fourth solve, I got an annoying dot case, and on the fifth solve, I got probably one of the easiest OLLs ever, this T-shape OLL. Overall, this average was okay, beating my former PR average by 0.01 seconds, but had there been a ZBLL in any one of those solves, maybe I could have beat my PR average by like at least 0.1 seconds. Moving on to the next event was ZBLL Potential, 4x4. I'm not going to bore you guys with all 5 of the 40+ second solves, but on the first 4x4 solve, I got an awkward case, so not an ideal start, but I did get a PLL skip out of it, so I guess I'm close enough. to a ZBLL? Anyways, on the second solve I got OLL parity, but I did it from an angle that gave me a dot OLL. I probably could have gotten an OLL with a cross on top, but I made a mistake and didn't. But guys, on the third solve, I got a T ZBLL. But was it a ZBLL that I knew? Upon first glance, you can see the opposite colors up here, but the headlights are the same colors. That knocks out these two ZBLLs that I just learned. Once again, on the fourth solve, I did OLL parity into a dot OLL, and on the fifth solve, I got an awkward case. Next up, I had 3x3 round 2, and spoiler alert, I did not get a ZBLL that I know. The first solve gave me a small L case, the second solve gave me a dot OLL, the third solve gave me a fish case, the fourth solve gave me a square case, and the fifth solve gave me a fat anti-soon case. It was now time for my 3x3 OH average. Even if I did get a ZBLL that I knew, there was absolutely no chance that I would be able to execute it. I got the U-case OLL twice in this average on solves 1 and 4, but had no idea how to execute them one-handed. I got a soon on my second solve, I got an awkward case on my third solve, and on my fifth solve, I got the square case. So once again, zero luck on the ZBLLs, but I had one more chance. 3x3 finals was my last chance to get a ZBLL. Should I be grateful that I have not gotten a ZBLL thus far, or should I be trembling in fear that I might get one in the next 5 solves? Starting off the average, I got a C-shaped OLL, which led me to a 1066. The second solve gave me a small L-shaped OLL, and I got a 1008. The third solve gave me a small L-shaped OLL, except this time I managed to get sub 10. The fourth solve gave me a fish case and a 742. And the fifth solve gave me an awkward case, and I ended the average with the 797. The moral of this video is that ZBLLs are uncommon, I guess. I only got a T ZBLL once in this competition, and on top of that, I only managed to get an OLL with the cross solved on top 4 times total. That is a 16% chance of even getting an opportunity to do ZBLL, let alone a ZBLL that I know. I know that there are a lot of techniques that I could use to raise my chances of getting a cross solved on top, such as edge orientation tricks on my last F2L pair, or by learning the ZB method, but I don't think that learning these tricks would be a good investment of my time. Maybe learning edge orientation tricks would be worth it, but the ZB method definitely wouldn't. I guess that I'll just have to chip away at learning more ZBLL algorithms, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get an insane single by using a ZBLL out. Anyways, go watch this video. I think that you'll like it.